What do you actually own when you buy a piece of property? If you were to go to a North Carolina law school class talking about property rights, your professor is going to talk to you about the bundle of sticks. While this may not be sticks and is actually colorful papermate flares, I still think they will do a good job explaining the visual. Property ownership is not just a single right, it's actually a collection of rights of the things that you can do with your property. So for example, you may have the right to possess, you may have the right to convey, you may have the right to exclude, and on and on. And when you put all of those things together, it adds up to your fee simple ownership of the property. Fee simple meaning you own every right there is to have, and it's, you're free to do what you want with that. These bundle of rights can move from one person to another. They can be subdivided and they can be brought back together, all while the land that you own remains completely unchanged. So let's talk about some examples of those rights and what you can do with them. The right to possess seems pretty obvious. It means that you can go and possess the property. It's yours. You can use it the way that you want. Another example is the right to exclude. That means that you don't have to let everybody on your property. It's not public. So you can make the rules about who is allowed on your property and not. Another example is the right to dispose of your property. So this could be leasing the property. So, giving it away or certain rights to the property to another person to occupy for a specified point of time. That could also be the right to sell, the right to bequeath the property by your will or by some other means. And so it means that you get to make the choice about when you give up your property and to whom. I mentioned earlier how these bundle of rights can be separated, but they can also then be brought back together. So one such example is when you own a property, but you decide to lease it to someone else. So when you give someone else the right to possess your property, you don't give up all of the other rights. That tenant can't sell your property. They can't encumber your property, meaning they can't borrow money against it. They can't give other people easements across your property. What they've received is the right to possess. And when you no longer have a tenant, you get the right to possess back. Another example is for maybe you have a trust and you want to put your property into a trust. So while you're retaining the right to possess, you, the individual, are giving your trust the right to convey, to encumber, etc., because the trust will become the owner of the property. Now in North Carolina, and really anywhere in the United States, there's no such thing as perfect title anymore. So that does mean that the government, through zoning laws or HOAs or property owners through various restrictions, can impose limits on your bundle of rights. So for example, if zoning regulations say that you cannot have more than one single family dwelling on an acre, then that does limit your right to control the property and do what you want with it. Because if you wanted to put 3 single family homes on an acre and the zoning laws say you can't, then yes, those regulations do limit your rights with respect to your property. All right, it's time for a pop quiz. Let's say you own a house in a neighborhood that has an HOA and has covenants, conditions, and restrictions placed on the property. And one such restriction is saying that you cannot paint your house a bright color. What stick in your bundle of rights are you sharing with the HOA? How about you pause this video, put your answer in the comments, and then after you posted your answer, press play and I'll tell you the answer. Well, the answer is the right to control. So you have shared your right to control what you do with your property, because now even if you wanted to paint your house a bright color, the HOA has a regulation stating that you cannot. So I learned the bundle of sticks from Professor Heekin in law school. I still use it today to explain this concept to my clients and to real estate agents that we work with in our office. So if you like to learn more about real estate law and real estate in general, subscribe to the channel. We put out videos just like this one all the time so that you can keep learning.